So let's say there's this younger guy or girl who wants to do something similar as you did in your life and build and start a nonprofit organization that wants to help animals, something like that. What are a couple of tips or things you've done that you would suggest people do?
Um, I think the important thing, I mean, I've done this a lot of times because we've tried to help other organizations, new people, to set up their own organization. So I can think of maybe 4 or 5 different wildlife hospitals that exist now because we've helped them to come on. I can think of maybe 2 or 3 times more that number that we've tried to help and have failed.
Hmm.
And I think it's because people have to be adaptable. They have to look at it like a business because you can't do anything without money. It's a simple fact of life. You can't do anything. You've got to buy medicines. You've got to buy fuel for ambulances. And if you want people to be um, continuity of how you organize your organization, you need to have permanent people who are paid. And if you're going to do that, you've got to be responsible about employing people, employing the right people, and trying to pay them as well as you can, because everybody's got a mortgage or rent to pay.
Yeah.
So, you've got to think about their future too. You can't run a successful organization purely on volunteers. It won't work because people have their own lives to run. They've got to feed themselves. They've got to feed their families. You've got to look after them too. So you have to look after the people as well as the animals. If you get all that right and you get a good balance, um, uh, and you allow, as I've said, people to develop on them in themselves,
Hmm.
to find out what they're good at, and to be enthusiastic about what they're good at, and to want to learn, then that's what you have to do. You have to do what I think you have to look at yourself and think, well, what made me do what I want to do? You've got to do the same thing. So all I can ever do is just say, well, I'm an example, good or bad, take it or leave it, but it worked for me.
Yeah.